What's going on, Mark?
Uh, Not much. Just trying to stay, just staying busy and just working on the week. How about you?
Yeah, same here. It's been really busy. I know it's been a while since we've been on here, so
I
there's
know.
there's a lot to catch up on, right?
Yeah, there is. Like we've both been tied with a lot of things, and it's just been a lot going on. Um, Man, like how long was it since I don't know, like basically one of the biggest news is that we became leaders, right? So, um, how long ago was that? Was that 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
Um, yeah, I think it was about 4 weeks ago. So yeah, we became leaders now here in the Houston Accountability Group, which is it's pretty fun, right? It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I think that we kind of like both stepped up and decided that I think we both showed Jeff Smith and Regina that we're capable of doing this, and we started doing this. Of course, I know you've been doing the door knocking for quite a while, and I mean, how long have you been doing door knocking now?
It's been since last year, like I'll say probably June, July, maybe. So it's been, yeah, a long while actually, and I'm assuming that's probably why, like Just Miss and Regina, like they asked us to be leaders, and then we stepped up, right? Because they see that we've been consistent, and we're coming to a meetup, we're helping people, um, and so I feel like that's why she asked us if we wanted to be leaders, and I think that was so cool. Like it was surprising, it was exciting at the same time, and it's like, oh wow, I guess we're leaders now. I'm just like, dang, that's exciting, surprising. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect it, and I just got that email, and then they asked me to in person, and I was like, whoa, yes,
Of course I do.
of course.
That's
So
awesome. I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I know, we talk in between, but you want to let everybody know, like, how's the door knocking thing been going for you?
Door knocking is great. Like they're again still same thing like everything, right? It requires a lot of follow ups, and these past few weeks, I've been getting messages from from families that I've helped out, and they all pretty much tell me similar things, right? They're like one of them told me, "Hey, Mark Anthony, thank you for reaching out. I was actually gonna text you today." Um, and this is someone that I follow up at least once a month,
Yeah.
because their foreclosure is resolved, but they're still like in a work in progress.
Mhm.
So someone like that, I just follow up with them once a month, right?
Yeah.
So she replied to me saying, "Oh, Mark Anthony, I was just gonna reply to you today, text you today." I mean, she's like, because I just got an approval from the state, and they're gonna, they gave me approval for the arrears. They're gonna pay off my arrears, what I'm behind on. And she was just like, "Thank you so much, God bless. Thank you so much for all that you do. You've helped us so much, so much information you gave us." Like that's what she told me, and this is from like right now we're in what, March, and she was someone who was going to foreclosure around November. And this was from November. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's from November, and I'm still following up. And she told me this like these past few weeks. I think it was last week or something. She told me that message. Look how long was that follow up, And
That's
then
cool.
it's 'cause you may never know what might happen, right? And maybe they do need to sell it, or maybe hey, they have questions on how to save it. Maybe something else came up. You may never know what might happen.
Yeah.
So during all this process, like with this client in particular, um, in the beginning, she had a for sale sign through an agent, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And then I knocked, and they just opened the door and just welcomed us in. I'm like, "Wait, what's going on here?" And then they're
Come in,
like,
hang out with us, right?
"Yeah." Like I didn't even get a chance to talk yet, and they're like, "Oh, I thought you were here to look at the to come to the showing." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Yeah, well, it's because we we have it listed with an agent, and then we're doing they're doing showings, and I was like, oh, that's not why we're here. This is why we're here, and I tell them why we're here for.
Yeah,
And they're like, well, we don't want to sell it. We will want to save it, but we just don't know how. And there's been a lot going on, and my wife he's like, my wife just got pregnant, and we have a little one. She's like a week old, and um like an agent came by and supposedly tried to help us, but then forced us into a contract to sell, and that's why there's a for sale sign on the yard. um and it was just a story like that, and it was like, what, like, what's going on here, like. And then after the conversation, we figured out that they can save their home. They're responsible, and they're just got behind because of work issue and stuff. But now they're back on their feet, and now they just can't get out of that contract. The agent won't sign a release form, so we help them by instructing them who to go to. In this
yeah,
case, it was the brokerage, and they did that. They got out of the contract, and fast forward, like, they postponed the auction. Then they did the state grant, and then recently, last week, they got that approved. But as you can see, it was a whole long process of issues in the very beginning to now a resolved issue. And it's so cool how anyone there would have probably been like, what, you gotta sell, or they'll just figure out a way to buy the house for them because they already have it listed anyways. But is that what they really want? Is that what's best for them?
yeah,
And look what happened. They saved it. Now this is just one huge long story of, I kind of summarize it, but this is just one client. And I've had others as well who are thanking me, and they're telling me, Mark, every time I talk to you, you're always uplifting me. It's always great talking to you. You give me so much information. Or they say, hey, Mark, look what I just received. Praise God. Like, I just got this notice, and she sent me a screenshot of it. And I was like, whoa, like, all these people are giving me thanks, and
yeah,
just telling me to keep on doing what I'm doing. And that's why I love what I do. It's because of those things is what keeps me going to keep doing this. Because look, like, many folks save their home. Like, it's so cool, Like, just seeing all this that's going on is like, it just tells me why I love what I do. Why I
yeah,
love door knocking, why I love focusing on pre foreclosures. It's like, I love it because I love helping people. And you know, um on top of that, like, my way of approaching is not about buying the property. If opportunity does come, then great. Because there are a few, like, for example, that say, hey, I want to save it, but then you see that they're unable to do so because of their situation. Like, if they're not working, they don't have a car, and their auction is like in 2 weeks, like, come on, how they gonna come up with that money? They
yeah,
can't. There's no way. So they have to sell, but that's your job to guide them there, right? And that's one of the things that I learned a lot from Jeff. Me and Jeff talked about setting expectations, scorching the earth, and learning to guide them to that sell process, guide them to want to sell because that's what's best for them. So
yeah,
Jeff was talking about that, I think, believe a couple weeks ago, and he helped me with that and just showing me how that would work. But at the
yeah.
same time, you have to probably follow up, right? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I kind of went like on a rant there, but
You're good.
just like, it's just foreclosures in general, man. Like, it's good. I love helping, and at the same time, I'm learning so much. And plus, going over this and talking to Jeff about it, it just, I guess, opens up my eyes to how I should proceed with all of this, right? What I should do
Yeah,
next. And I feel like that's so cool. And I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from others. And it's like how we talked about too. I remember we had a conversation about moving the conversation along. Basically similar, kind of like what Jeff was telling me too. So I thought that was so cool as well, hearing it from you. But yeah, man, door knocking is just a lot going on with that. And I know this Saturday, once a month we have like a door knocking meetup.
yeah.
Just come together and door knock, and I think that's
So,
pretty cool.
so on that, like, how does that all? I mean, I've done it with you, but like, there's some people that maybe don't know what it's like. So, how are you structuring this? Um, like
Mm.
I know before we had, leader and then somebody new going out. Like, are you doing some still the same type of thing or?
Yeah, I'm still doing the same type of thing. So where the leaders who actually been door knocking already before, or they're still doing it, they're the ones who will lead the other team. So like for example, one person will have like two people under them, so it'd be a total of three people going to every door.
Yeah,
Uh, and so that's how we're still doing it. And the people who were still leaders, like they've learned so much that now it's like it just become more easier for them to like lead and teach others.
yeah.
That's basically what's going to be happening this Saturday, and we're probably going to have it more like on the south of Houston, kind of
Okay.
close to Jason a little bit, maybe Pasadena or something like that.
Okay.
Uh,
Because I know, yeah, you were always on the north side of Houston, right? So you're gonna switch it up a little bit and try some
yeah,
different areas.
it's time. Yeah. Plus, I wanted to be closer to Jason, so
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Jason.
Jason drives over there like so many times, so I'm like, I want to go more down. Plus I want Jason to come, so like I just want to make it easier. And plus, new students and new people who live more in Pasadena are reaching out to me, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it all down there somewhere, like maybe Pasadena, and
Yeah.
I think it will help a lot of people.
Give it, yeah, the opportunity, to take somebody new and yeah, let them not door knock, right? I think get over that fear of like it's not really all that bad, right? Going and door knocking. I mean, you
Right.
hear the stories, right? But they don't happen like all the time, right? Most of the time they just shut the door on you.
Well, yeah, they get kind of frustrated about it. Sometimes could be kind of dangerous too. But that's why you don't door knock at night, right? And
Yeah.
don't door knock before 10 a.m. because yeah, I think that's one of the biggest thing is people door knock like before 10. Like there was one lady who said that someone came here at 8 a.m. door knock and she pointed a gun at his face. It was wow. I bet that person was so scared he probably didn't want to door knock anymore.
Yep.
Actually,
Probably.
yeah. So she was telling her that story because we came there like I would say around 10:30 or 11,
Yeah.
but we didn't go there before then. Like we don't do that. Like no, because look what happened. Like look what she did to this person. So I'm glad that we don't knock. Like we don't do that after like before 10 a.m. So that's good. Um, and then at nights as well, when it's dark, don't even knock. Like I wouldn't recommend it. Depending on the area too. Like if it's getting close to dark, I'm like, and there's still has some little light, then go for it. Maybe,
Yeah.
but just be careful, be cautious. Depending on the area too, and if you live around there, if you know the area, then you'll know. You can make you know an educated decision from there by just knowing the area, knowing yourself and the people there. That what, maybe I should door knock one or two more doors because I'm almost done anyways, and then go for it.
Yeah.
And if it's late, then just you make this decision, personally. So yeah, pretty cool.
And I think most of the time you don't go door knocking by yourself, do you? Or do you usually have somebody
Yeah.
with you? Or you
Uh,
go,
when someone was shadowing me, then they'll come with me. But no, normally it's just myself. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
some of the door knocking without fear. Yeah, just by myself, I think you understand, right? If the situation gets bad, you just leave, right?
Yeah. I just leave if it's bad. Yeah, I just leave. But yeah, going out by myself and just being careful and um, like honestly, like in the beginning, yeah, people would shadow me, but not anymore because they don't need to. All they need to do is like go through the videos that I made and
Yeah,
me and others made together. And so like I give those videos to someone else, they just go through it and they can door knock by themselves. And it's so cool because yeah, it's so cool because like someone who never shadowed me watched those videos and then just started door knocking by themselves. They
that's
didn't
awesome.
even need to shadow me.
Yeah,
So, it's something new that I did, and it's like it works. I given it to two people already, and they're like, "Whoa, I don't need to." I really don't need to shadow you with these videos and audios. This tells me everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's fun. And you're doing kind of like, I know you're doing this once a month. I know last month you didn't do the like door knocking like that, but you're doing it once a month, right?
Yeah, yeah. Last month I didn't do it. It seemed like everyone's tied up a little bit, so we decided
Yeah.
to just do it March. But yes, normally it would be once a month. Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know when I've been with you before, you did like, what do we do, like five, six houses or more per group? I feel like it's kind of been a little different each time, right?
Yeah, it's been different each time, but now I feel like eight of them is fine. Eight for every
Mhm.
team should be
Yeah,
and just keep it that way, like a standard eight, at least
yeah,
eight.
that's pretty cool. Get some experience in there. Go knock a couple eight doors, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Get experience, do it, learn it, learn from each other, and if you like it, great. Do it, keep on doing it. But if not, then maybe it's not for you. But the fact that you're trying it out, it makes a difference. The whole point is
Yeah,
just try it out, and then just to try it out and just be surrounded with people who are doing it, who are door knocking. Because some folks like, man, I want a door knock, but I don't know who to go to. I don't know. I've
yeah,
never done it before. Well, guess what? And go to door knocking meetup, right? And the same thing with calling. I've never called agents or sellers before. Well, then go to the power hour that they have every
yeah.
Saturday. You know.
Yeah,
So
there's options. That's one thing I think we're doing here in Houston is we got something really special going on here. We got a lot of people that have stepped up and became leaders, and we're building something really special here. Like you, you'd be completely new to real estate and just jump in. Like there's so many different ways that you can go and find your avatar, and people willing to help you here in Houston. It's mind blowing. Like I mean, and I'm sure the feeling for you, like I have power hour, but I'm sure you get the same feeling of taking somebody out for the first time door knocking is pretty exciting. I'm sure that's a good feeling, right?
oh yeah, exactly, exactly the same feeling. Yep.
It's a great feeling of knowing that you kind of push somebody to kind of come out of their right out of that comfort zone and go do something different that they've never done.
Absolutely. Yeah, when someone's new and never done a call before or something like, it's just or door knocking, it's just like and then having them do it is like it feels good. Like they're learning and they're doing it. It's just someone new who hasn't done it before and they're getting that experience, you know. Um Same feeling. So tell us about that too, about what you do every Saturday.
Oh yeah, so we started with we call it a power hour, and of course, you've been to it, you know what it is. Power hour is just we get together in person, and we are making calls direct to agents, direct to sellers, and we have Andrew's there. He provides a list direct to agents, and then I'm also providing a list direct to seller, and we provide some leads and give opportunities for people that are sub two students, non sub two students to come and make phone calls and give them a little bit of experience to be on the phone and actually talking to people, not just doing like role playing or nothing like that. Like you're actually talking to real people, and they're they have real problems and they're trying to sell their house and stuff like that. And um, it's a good, nice place. It also brings people together, kind of holds people accountable. An opportunity to go somewhere, work for a couple hours, do what they have to do. And this originally started with Jeff Smith. It was his idea. He came up with this idea, and he explained it was more of a I want to hold myself accountable. Let's get together and work, and I can make my own phone calls during this particular time, which is 10 to 12 every Saturday, right? And he wanted to do that. Well, when Jeff talked about it, I was like, man, this is great because I had been tossing the idea around of doing something on the weekends, but I was thinking more like a Zoom of doing like role playing or something like that, maybe doing some phone calls. And for me, doing this in person was 100 times better. Putting something like this in person, and the thing that you can't, you know, can't do on a Zoom and stuff is like the energy in there in the room and everybody making calls and seeing people make their first call for the first time. You just can't match that energy that you could on a Zoom. We're having pretty big turnouts. We're going from, a dozen. I think last week we had over 30 people that showed up. This week, I think there was over 20 people that showed up. So we're trying to continue to grow it, keep it going. Each week, it's been a learning experience for us. We're trying to learn how to get leads to people and help them out, how to kind of get things a little streamlined, a little bit faster and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I love that you mentioned it, the learning part. Like, you know, you're always, I guess, basically learning, improving, and figuring out how to give pass on leads, how to keep that organized. That's also part of the door knocking as well. Is like when we pass on that data, those files, or that paper, whatever we give them, whether it's on a Google sheet or whether it's a document on paper, is like is learning to keep track of all of that.
yeah,
Because if you just give someone a list of people to call or people to door knock, and like you never follow up with them, then there's no point of even making that first call or that first door knock. Like
yeah,
that's very big. A lot of folks maybe they don't answer, or maybe they just require follow up. Maybe the next step is negotiations. You just
yeah,
may never know. Um, you just may never know until you actually follow up with them. So that's good that you're keeping track of that. Even myself, when we do that door knocking meetup, it's the same thing. It's like everyone at door knock, all the leaders, it's like, you know, they themselves put that paper, those leads, into the CRM so they can follow up
yeah,
themselves. The leaders are the ones that follow up on that, right?
yeah,
Because of that, they have to keep track of all of that and make sure that they're following up. They know what happened. What happened when they first called? What's the story? Did you get all the information? Like gathering all the information, know what's the next step for the leader to do. It's very important, and I know myself, like learning to do that, learning to improve that. It does require time. It's a process,
yeah, yeah,
uh, but the more you do it, the more you learn, the better you get at it.
yeah, definitely. Like we're kind of like, some people might know like what the nightly dial is if you're sub two student. You know what the nightly dial is and how it kind of works on there. For the people that don't, what we're trying to do there is like the leads are ultimately like the leads that I provided are mine. And I have a friend, his name is Shad. He's the one that's like helping with the leads here in Houston. And so he's giving me the leads, but ultimately what we're doing, like even with Andrew, those are still his leads and these are my leads. And but we're letting you have some of them to go make phone calls on. The only thing like we're asking like if they call you back or they're trying to follow up back with you or something, or if there is a follow-up that needs to be done, we're taking care of it because it is our leads. But in exchange, we're giving you the opportunity to call on a list that's real, with real people, and get you on the phone talking to people and break that uh you know that fear of making that phone call. Like, I think one weekend when we went out, there was 5 people that never made a phone call. And one of our rules there when you show up for power hour is you have to make at least one call if you're new. And seeing those 5 people make that call and at the end, like watching them at the beginning, how scared they were. And I think you can relate to this when you take somebody out door knocking, right? That first door, they walk away and they're like, oh, that really wasn't that bad. Right? And it's the same thing you hear them on the phone, they're saying the same thing. They're like, oh, wow, that call wasn't really that bad. I want to go make more now, you know? But at one power hour, we had 5 people that never made a call. This last weekend, just yesterday on Saturday, we had 2 people that never made a call. This one of the guys walked in. He told me I'm new to sub two. I've only been in for a week. I was like, awesome, cool. Kind of gave him a rundown of what to do. He's like, I just want to listen to a couple phone calls and then I'll make a call. I'm like, okay, cool. He listened to like one or two. He's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Before I knew it, this guy was just working through a list. He was calling, I don't know how many, just one after another. The guy got, I don't know how many follow ups. I got to go look at the paperwork. but he just like broke that barrier and just kept going and going and going and going. And I love seeing that. That's one thing that's really special about Power Hour. So
Man, that's awesome. It's really good. And Jason does a really good job of that as well, as to
oh
when
yeah.
he takes people with him, or whoever
Yeah.
he's taking people with him, he has he makes them do it. He's like, okay, go for it, go door
Mhm.
knock, or go do this, like, and make mistakes. He wants you to fail. He wants you to do it, to take action. That's the
Yeah.
whole point, and I love that. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, you want to listen to one or two doors, or okay, cool, but then do it yourself from there.
Yeah. Because like how are you gonna get that experience, right? Like you can sit here and watch me knock this door and talk to these people, but how are you gonna get the experience?
You can, if you don't follow up, if you don't do those things, if you don't actually just take action, just do it, make that first attempt, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, perfect sense. I love that. So the power hours, that Saturdays, and then once a month I do the door knocking meetup, and man, it's pretty good, man. Good
It, it,
stuff.
it- yeah, it's amazing where we're going with all this, like what we have here in Houston. I don't know what it's like in some of the other accountability groups, but watching this, the way it's starting to like grow, like, I don't know how many people I've sent a lot of people your way. I don't know if they went to you or not, but
Yeah,
because they're interested in free foreclosures. And I'm like, go talk to Mark, go talk to Mark, go door knocking with Mark. At least go try that once.
two people already reached out to me from that, so that's good. Because
Yeah,
they actually did reach out to me, and they seem very interested in wanting to learn. So that's pretty cool. The fact that they texted me and reached out to me is like that. That means a lot. That means like
yeah,
they're interested and want to do it. Um, and the reason why I mention that is because I remember me and other friends, we talked about this, where someone is always excited and wants to make that first step and take action, but that excitement, that energy just kind of just goes away after a while. Like, for example, oh man, I want to get into real estate, I want to do some calls, but when the time comes, like, oof, I don't want to do it, I've never done it
yeah,
before. It's like they get that feeling, right, from like their own mind who just holds them back.
yeah,
um But when they make that first step, like in the power hour, or when they go door knock, it's like, wait, okay, this is not as hard as I thought. And like,
yeah.
yeah, like I can learn from everyone here, then that's great. It's like how you said, this individual just was listening to calls and then made that first attempt to do a call and just kept doing it.
Yeah, he just kept doing it. I was blown away.
Yeah, it's just that's the thing. All it takes is that first step,
Yeah,
and all that involves mindset, right? Like, are they willing to take that first step? Are they willing to go to the power hour? Or if they are really interested in doing calls, then go to the power hour. That's the first step. Go to power
yeah.
hour. You know?
I think something to build off of that is like I think if it's easier for you to not do it if you're sitting behind a computer and you're like on a big Zoom with a bunch of people and they're like, yeah, why don't you go door knocking or why don't you go make this phone call, right? A lot of people are gonna say, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and then they get off the call, right, and they don't go do it. I think something that's special here is like we have people that are willing to say, hey, why don't you go with me? Like you're willing to say, hey, yeah, let's go door knocking together. You'll take people with you and go door knocking, especially like when you do your once a month little the door knocking event, right? So, and the same thing with like Power Hour, like I'm sitting right next to them, helping them out. Like I let them struggle during the phone call, and I'm sure you do the same thing when they're door knocking, right? You let them kind of struggle, but you're also there to be kind of, whisper in their ear and say, hey, say this, say that, right? That's what I do on the phone call, and it helps them out, but it helps them break that wall of making that first phone call. And it's the same way for you on the door knocking. Like you're there to kind of like help them out, go door knock a couple doors, and then they get over that fear, and now they're doing it on their own. I know you had a lot of people that went door knocking with you for the first time, and then went on and they're doing it on their own. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yes, they got really good at it. And speaking of that, like, there was someone who basically gave me the idea of recording a lot of things. It's like uh, a good friend of mine, Joe. He was shadowing me for like 2 weeks, I believe,
Yeah,
and he's recorded everything with his phone, and we kept as a Google Drive, and like it's so cool because he took action and he got in so good at it. He doing up by himself, and like he's gained that knowledge and that experience, and it's pretty cool, man. Like I love that he was there because he recorded that part. He
yeah,
recorded all those audios where we doing up together, and he got to hear everything.
yeah,
So I just think that's really cool. Just it's a good feeling when people shadowing you, and then you're showing them the ropes, and then now they're doing it themselves. It's really cool, you know.
yeah. And I think that's a good example of what you're talking about with Joe. Like you've seen him kind of grow and doing his own thing, right? And it's the same thing with Power Hour. I've had a couple different people that came, quite a few actually, and they come for the first time and they're like, "Well, I've never made a call." I'm like, "Okay, well, first time here, right? You got to make a call." Get them on the phone, and it's funny. They get on the phone, they make that first call, and then they keep coming back. And I've noticed the growth from the first time they showed up to Power Hour until now, and it's a great feeling of watching that happen and watching them the way they feel, how they get comfortable and being around all those people. I think it's amazing.
Absolutely, it's really good. Just watching them grow, and 'cause we've been there too. In the very very beginning.
Yeah,
I remember when I was door knocking. Like I wish I had someone would who I can shadow with, and like who's done this several times, and like just the beginning is just a lot of learning process, learning what to say, learning how to approach it, and even how to save homes, like the process of a modification, law
yeah,
modification, um all those extra programs out there that I just didn't know about, and knowing not knowing what to do. And it was a lot of learning experience, so much. And I remember there was one appointment that I first went to, and it was it hurt me a lot too, in a little bit, in a way where you're thinking that they saved their home, but they really didn't. And like a family that just invites you to go eat with their family, it's
yeah.
like it's it affects you a lot. It's like, man, like I thought they saved their home, but then there was an issue with the bank, or I don't know, man. It was just
Um,
it
that's,
was
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It did, yeah, man. It was, but that's what the day where like I learned, like I'll make sure that this doesn't happen again. Um,
But
it
see, now
just
you can pass that advice on to somebody else, right? Because now you've
oh,
learned a little bit of like, okay, this happened to this particular person. Why did it happen? And then now somebody new coming in, you can say, hey, man, you need to keep on following up with them, right? Because now you've already done that, right? I think we wish, like, I I didn't have nobody at the time to be like next to me, tell me, hey, let's make a phone call together. Same thing like how you're saying, let's go door knocking, right? And have somebody sitting there and being like, yeah, let's do this. And I'll kind of give you some advice as the phone call's going on, like right here. But like
exactly.
they're saying, like that experience, you had to go through it, you learned it. Now you can pass that on to somebody else, which is cool.
Yep, exactly. Passing on the torch and creating things that we didn't even have, like Saturdays the power hour. Imagine every Saturday a power hour. Like that's a lot. Like that's a lot, man. In a month, man. Like it doesn't seem like, maybe people might not think it's a lot, but think about it. Every Saturday to have that happen, have the leaders there, having that schedule when everyone's busy, like you
Yeah,
got making that effort, making that time to do that, all the leaders, and to have it every Saturday. I mean, like that's a lot of value that you give to everyone that goes there, and that's very powerful. And it's like it all started because the previous leaders and the new leaders, they all like just, I guess, created that. They all did that together, and I think that's so cool. Like everyone just stepping up and helping others. Lending a hand, passing on the torch. It's pretty cool. And the same thing with door knocking meetups. It's good. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jeff's talked about that. He said that was one of their Jeff and Regina were talking about that. They mentioned a couple times like we've, tried to do this on our own, and it's been hard. They've been trying to do this on their own for a long time, and you know, I was even talking to Jennifer about this like the other day. Like all of a sudden, we just had all these leaders just pop in at the same time. Everybody just wanted to be part of. They want to be leaders. It's like people are fighting to be a leader and provide value all at the same time. And now it's like we have everybody like if you want to go door knocking, we have that, right? You want to go talk on the phone direct to seller, we have somebody like you want to go talk direct to agent, like there's somewhere where you can go fall into that line. There's also like you could show up there and let's say you don't want to make calls to direct agent or direct to seller, like we have numbers that we can get you for maybe doing private money or finding buy like building a buyer's list. Like there's so much there. Like it's great that we have this going on right now in Houston right now. I think here in Houston, I think we're trying to set the standards of what it should be like. I think that's a big thing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Trying to think like um trying to think like what did we miss? Like, we went over the door knocking meetup, how we all became leaders, and look where we're at now.
Oh yeah. You looking
Yeah.
forward for this Saturday?
Oh yeah, this Saturday. Oh, for
Different
real?
area, like that's gonna be a new area for you. I know you always door knock more the north side of Houston, so
Yeah. It's exciting, like to be in a new place. Like I never been down there in Pasadena, like
yeah,
Dornock. I've never been in that area. So, well, I've been there probably for like maybe a couple of times, but never to actually door knock. So I don't know what I'll expect or but again, wherever you door knock, it's pretty much the same thing. Like it's the same
yeah,
approach, same
just
thing.
different.
So, but the area is what I mean is new.
Yeah,
Like I don't know where we're gonna meet up. Like I know is this Saturday, so today I'm gonna have to plan the area. I gotta text everybody, basically notify everybody where it's gonna be, and um, so yeah, that's something I have to do here soon. And then I'm just gotta pick a place. I don't know yet.
oh, you know what we should do too? Um, we should do something together on this too. Maybe whatever list you pull or you're looking at, maybe we can call them at Power. We can have the people that come that are new. Maybe they can call some of the pre foreclosures that you're going to be going to.
Hey, that's a good idea.
All in like one day, they could be getting door knocked and called at the same time.
That's a great idea because technically, like when we go door knock, the SMS marketing, the campaign, it's running in the background. So it's the same thing. Like if you guys call them, then it's like yeah, it's like calling and texting even while we're door knocking. So like it's so cool. Like if someone does answer, and they need help or something, or they're trying to like whatever it is, like we're already going there anyways.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Something just combine them a little bit.
Think about that.
That's an option we could talk about. But yeah, I think I know it's been a while since we've done this. I know we have some plans still to keep on continuing with this, and I think we it's been a little busy for us. I know everybody's busy, um, but yeah, it's been a lot going on and a lot of big changes for us since we've last been on here, and I'm excited to see how it keeps on playing out for us. I know this is just again just the beginning for us down here in Houston, so I don't know if you got anything to add on to that, Mark. But
No, I think that's good enough. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. We've been having a lot going on, but we're still catching up, learning, and growing together. So,
yep,
it's
I love it. So we'll see you on the next one then, I guess, right, Mark?
alrighty. Yeah. See you guys on the next one.
All right.